It's like everyone's searching for that fountain of youth, right? That magic bullet for a longer, healthier life.
Yeah, it's a timeless quest.
Totally. Well, we're not promising miracles today, BUT. We are diving into some seriously cool research. We're talking about foods, compounds, stuff that might actually hold some clues to longevity.
This should be interesting.
Right. We've got two sources for you today. One is like brand new scientific study, hot off the presses.
Oh, nice.
And the other one, it takes us on a trip, actually, exploring Brazilian cuisine.
Okay, that's a fun twist. I'm intrigued.
Ready to uncover the secrets to a longer, more vibrant life?
Let's do it.
All right, let's dive in. All right, so the first study we're looking at, it tested these two formulations, kind of like recipes, you could say,
Okay.
on these tiny little creatures called C. elegans.
C. elegans, right?
Yeah, so C. elegans, they're like microscopic worms, and scientists use them all the time in aging research
Yeah.
because they've got this really short lifespan, which means researchers get to see the effects of different compounds way faster
Makes sense.
than, if you were studying humans.
Right.
So get this, both of these formulations they tested, they significantly extended the lifespan of these worms.
Wow.
And here's the kicker, one of them actually did even better than resveratrol,
Oh, wow.
which is like, resveratrol is a big deal in the longevity world.
Yeah, it's like the gold standard almost.
Totally. So it's like, okay, what is in these formulations that's making these worms live longer?
Right.
Spill the tea.
Well, a key ingredient, and this is in both of the formulations, is this compound called spermidine. Spermidine, you're not going to believe this, but you can find it naturally in foods.
Okay.
Like white button mushrooms.
No way. Mushrooms for longevity. Who knew? Okay, so tell me more about the spermidine. Like, what makes it so special?
So spermidine, it's got this really crucial role in this process called autophagy,
Autophagy.
which is basically like, if you think about it, your cells like own personal recycling and cleanup crew.
Interesting.
It's pretty cool. So, as we get older, our cells, they tend to accumulate all sorts of like damaged proteins,
Makes sense.
worn out cellular components. It's like, cellular garbage.
Right. It's like the junk drawer in your kitchen.
Exactly. And this buildup, it's not a good thing. It can mess with how our cells function.
Yeah.
And it can actually contribute to aging.
Okay, that makes sense.
And that's where spermidine swoops in to save the day.
Okay.
It basically kickstarts this process of autophagy,
Uh-huh.
prompts the cells to like clear out all that garbage,
Okay.
and then they can function more efficiently.
So it's like giving your cells a nice rejuvenating cleanse.
Exactly.
I love it. Okay, so we've got these microscopic worms living longer thanks to spermidine.
Right.
But how does that translate to us, to humans, and the foods we eat?
Good question. That's where our second source comes in.
Ooh, okay.
You ready for a little trip to Brazil?
Okay.
Because we're going to dive into some exotic fruits and veggies with some pretty amazing properties.
Let's do it. Okay, so this study, it looked at what they call non-conventional edible plants.
Catchy, right?
Yeah, catchy, or NCEPs for short.
There you go.
NCEPs, it's like, these are the plants you probably won't see at your average grocery store.
Right, exactly.
So they rounded up a bunch of these Brazilian NCEPs, and they tested them for their bioactive uneamine content.
Okay.
And remember spermidine? Well, one fruit was like the spermidine super...
Really?
Yeah, it's called sariguelas. Sariguelas. It's a type of Brazilian cherry.
Interesting.
They found it actually has more spermidine than kale.
Well, more than kale.
More than kale. So move over kale smoothies. There's a new longevity food in town.
That's a bold statement.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's the deal with the sariguela? Have you ever tried it? So wait, are we saying sariguela is like the new superfood? Should we be stocking up?
Well, hold your horses. It's not quite as simple as that. It's amazing that sariguela is packed with spermidine. But remember, it's not the only source. You can find spermidine in other foods too.
Yeah.
Wheat germs, soybeans, even aged cheese. It's more about like looking at the bigger picture,
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Variety is key, right?
Exactly. And this study, it's like a tiny window into this whole world of unconventional foods and their,
We just scratched the surface.
totally.
Yeah.
There's so much more out there to discover.
That's so exciting. But like with a lot of things in life, it feels like there's got to be a catch, right?
Wow.
The study mentioned that sariguela and this other Brazilian fruit, Marolo, they've got high levels of something called tyramine.
Right. Tyramine.
Tyramine doesn't sound as appealing as spermidine, I gotta say. What's the deal with that?
Okay, so tyramine, it's a natural compound. You find it in a lot of foods, actually.
Okay.
Especially things that are fermented or aged.
Okay, so like cheese.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Cheese, cured meats, some beers even.
Okay.
Now, for most people, it's not a big deal at all. But, and this is important, it can interact with certain medications.
Oh, like what?
There's a class of medications called MAOIs. They're sometimes prescribed for depression or Parkinson's disease.
Okay.
And if someone's taking an MAOI and they're eating a ton of tyramine-rich foods, it can cause a sudden spike in blood pressure. Not good.
So not a good combination then.
No, I do.
Okay. So should we be worried about enjoying these Brazilian fruits? Are we like stuck with our kale smoothies if we want to live longer?
No, no, not at all. Listen, it's all about balance and being aware of your own individual needs. What works for one person might not be the best fit for someone else.
Right.
For most people, enjoying these fruits in moderation is perfectly fine.
Okay, good to know.
But, as always, it's a good idea to have a chat with your doctor or a registered dietitian, especially if you're taking medications, before you add a bunch of new stuff to your diet.
That makes a lot of sense. So it's not about labeling foods as good or bad, but really understanding how they fit into your own personal health journey, right?
Exactly.
It's all connected. All right, so we've explored the microscopic world of C. elegans today.
We have.
We took a virtual trip to Brazil, all in the name of longevity. What are we walking away with today?
Well, for me, it's that a longer lifespan might be as close as our kitchens. Something as simple as a mushroom.
Right, who knew mushrooms had it in them?
Right. But also that exploring different cultures and their cuisines, it's not just delicious, it can be good for us.
It really opens your eyes to all these possibilities. Makes you wonder, what other secrets are hidden in the traditional foods and practices of different cultures around the world? Something to think about.
Absolutely.
This has been fascinating. Thank you so much for this deep dive. Until next time.
Thanks for having me.